Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Federal authorities arrested 8 men at 2 Madison businesses and a home on Tuesday.
They all appeared at the federal courthouse in downtown Sioux Falls Thursday afternoon.
The men wore headphones while a certified interpreter translated English into Spanish so they could understand the judge. She granted them court-appointed attorneys. They're all charged with using fraudulent identification papers to get hired in South Dakota.
They face up to 5 years in prison if found guilty. Until their next hearing, they will remain in custody.
A Rapid City man is behind bars accused of assaulting a train operator.
18-year-old Jeremiah Olson was arrested for a list of charges, including simple assault and first-degree burglary. Police say it happened just after 8 o'clock Wednesday morning on La Crosse Street. Authorities say Olson allegedly climbed onto the engine car of the train and attacked the operator.
The operator fought back and pushed him off the train. Police say Olson ran off and was arrested blocks away.
A drug that is 100 times stronger than fentanyl has local authorities raising awareness about the danger of its use.
According to the Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office, there has been 1 overdose death this year related to carfentanil.
And that's certainly concerning. It's not unusual that carfentanil will be seen in a counterfeit stamped pill. Might look like an M30 oxycodone or Adderall or Ativan or some other common looking drug, but in reality, they're all counterfeit medications.
According to a new CDC report about drug overdose deaths in the U.S., were down nearly 27% last year. However, South Dakota is one of just 2 states that saw an increase.
Now let's get a check of the weather with meteorologist Scott Munt in the Storm Center. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Perry. Good morning, everybody. We are following rain showers this morning, snow for the higher elevations of the hills. This will continue throughout the day as we do take a look at Sunday morning, though. We're looking at temperatures that may fall to the low to middle 30s. You do see that across eastern South Dakota, so we could have some areas of frost by the time we do get into Sunday morning. In the meantime, for today, it will be a cool afternoon, another windy afternoon, as we'll have our strong west to northwest winds, 25, 50 miles per hour or more. Temperatures remaining steady as we continue to follow the showers. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Scott. A School of Mines student we told you about last month was granted permission to stay in the U.S. on her F1 student visa.
Priya Saxena's student visa was revoked on April 4th following a criminal records check, court documents say. The criminal record they referenced was a traffic violation and DUI, but she was never convicted of the DUI.
Saxena then filed a lawsuit against Nome saying it was unlawful and violated due process. She was granted a temporary restraining order on April 18th, graduated on May 10th, and was granted permission to keep her visa on May 13th.
Coffee beans have become more expensive. Corey Gerlach, head roaster and co-owner at The Breaks in Sioux Falls, says his business is absorbing part of these costs, and we asked him about this decision.
So is your decision to absorb some of those costs purely a function of wanting to be a good neighbor?
I mean, a lot of it is, yes, yeah, and be approachable for people, it is one of those things where it's like, I feel like, yeah, it is part of being a good neighbor and a good part of your community and trying to help each other out when you can.
Gerlach says plant disease, geopolitics, and climate change impact coffee's prices. Tariffs, he says, are right now not directly causing coffee prices to rise, but he says they likely will do so over time.
There was a roar of thunder outside of Sioux Falls last night, and we're not talking about the storms.
Close to 300 motorcyclists attended bike night at the Red Rock Bar and Grill. It was the first night for this annual fundraiser for the Children's Home Society, but it's now in its 11th year.
When we started it, we thought, man, do you think you could get 35 to 50 bikes a week to come out? And we've been blessed to maybe get 350 to 500 a week to come out.
As part of the fundraiser, the Red Rock Bar and Grill is selling raffle tickets for this brand new Indian motorcycle. To learn more about Bike Night and a look at the lineup of bands they'll be playing this summer, log on to this story on KELOLAND.com. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. Well, a lot of wind today, and of course a lot of wind in the last 24 hours. Look at those gusts in Buffalo. Phillips, South Dakota, between 70 and 75 miles per hour. That's just plain old windy, very strong. Sioux Falls area, about 50, 46 is the peak wind gust. A lot of rain in these gauges northwest of Sioux Falls. It's a difference. There's some of you not nearly as much. Like southwest Minnesota, it's kind of a hodgepodge of a lot of quarter-inch numbers or near that level in both Marshall and in Worthington. Northwest Iowa, we picked up some rains in Lyon County, but you get south of Sheldon, not much from this whole system. An inch 34, though, south of Mitchell. Some of these numbers from the SDSU Mesonet. We had an inch 62 at the Mitchell Airport and about an inch of rain in Huron. So obviously those kind of numbers, yep, make a difference. 2 inches worth near Clark. That's a pretty big number. But look west of Aberdeen. Those are the biggest numbers by far. 3+. Many sites there west of the Missouri, out toward Eagle Butte, and also looking up to Timber Lake and that area, northwestern Corson County. Big numbers, 3 to 4 inches. We're not done yet either. We are still adding rain in those spots. Notice southwest South Dakota, very little. We've had spotty rains down in the Hot Springs area. We need a lot more. That's a definite need. And then we've picked up beneficial rain east of Martin. So depending on where you live, there's been kind of a spread there on those rain totals. A little more today. Sioux Falls included. Showers in the forecast. It's windy, blustery. It is not going to get back to 55 the way things are looking. I would say the afternoon number holds steady near 50 with areas of showers and the wind making it feel even cooler than that. 30s tonight. Frost advisory for northwest South Dakota up through, I would say, near Belle Fourche and then northward to Buffalo. Even Faith could get down as low as 38. We also see some 30s around Watertown tomorrow morning. No frost headlines, so the wind is probably strong enough there. But just to let you know about that is possible. Tomorrow we clear out high pressure, lighter winds getting into Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. And then that's going to set up more 30s on Sunday morning. And if you're watching us in Aberdeen, Watertown, Brookings, 34 to 36 looks likely if the clouds hold off. That's one thing that I would say is still up for some debate here. If we get those clouds to move back in a little faster, that could help us out. But the farther east you live, the lesser impact of that. In Worthington, that's another area. Southwest Minnesota could be looking at scattered frost on Sunday morning. Now, in addition to that, we've got a new storm coming in. Western South Dakota, Sunday afternoon, rain begins, and that's going to be spreading east. We got a lot of figuring to do on Monday's weather because the track of this storm system will make a big difference. There's going to be a swath of severe weather, probably lurking. At the very least, it's going to be just south of us. There is some potential that could sneak into southeastern Kettleland on Monday afternoon. So keep watching our weather forecasts the next couple of days for any movement on that low pressure track. And of course, the rain with it. And one final thought. Yes, there will be snow in the Black Hills next week as this upper level low comes crashing into the Rockies. So it's a big weather maker for us. We'll keep an eye on the particulars. Hopefully, by the end of the day, it's more good news than bad, but obviously we don't want to get too cold either on the backside of that storm system. Temperature-wise, we're going to be in the 60s this weekend by Sunday. I think right now, Sioux Falls, we're kind of holding a middle ground at 64 on Monday. That's subject to change. If it delays and warms up, it could be a day near 70 with any thunderstorms that pop. Aberdeen, it's more likely we're going to stay on the cool side of the boundary, so we're anticipating 60 on Monday. Rain likely into Tuesday. There should be rain chances all through the heart of the middle of South Dakota. So Pierre is at 57 on Monday, and I think that rain will linger Tuesday, Wednesday, given the slow nature of that storm, and that's also true for the Black Hills, where that southwest corner of South Dakota, this will be kind of a big deal. If it hits next week, it'll help. If it misses us, that's a real disappointment. So keep an eye on it. More details at KELOLAND.com.